Happening, people? Back again for another stream. How are we all doing today? We all good? So yeah, guys, for those of you that have been watching the last few streams over the last few days, obviously I've been doing in terms of the Premier League era, the best in their positions. So far I've covered central midfield, centre back, number 10s, attacking midfielders or left wing. The same on the other side, attacking midfielder, right winger or right midfield. Yesterday we done right backs, and now we move on the other side of the pitch to left backs. And then tomorrow we're going to be doing goalkeepers, and then finally we finish off at the other end of the pitch for the strikers. So yeah, guys, make sure you check out my content. Make sure as well, guys, when you come through, if you can smash that like button and obviously subscribe to my channel as well. I'm 5 away from reaching 900. Okay, so that'll be another milestone ticked off. So if you guys do obviously enjoy the content, then yeah, as I said, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to my channel. And again, if you've got any questions to put in the live chat, then be sure to put that in. Or even after the stream finishes, put that in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are. So we're going to start off, as I said, for left backs. So best left backs in the history of the Premier League. I think the list that I've compiled, I think there's 8 on there. Again, if there's any one that I've missed out and you guys think should be on this list, then again, be sure to put that into the chat or the comments after the stream has ended. I think this one is going to be quite unanimous in terms of who everyone agrees with. But I think it is right to go through all the names anyway. But I think there is probably a standout winner here as well, I would say. But we'll have to wait and see. So first on this list is Andy Robertson of Liverpool. What I would say, obviously, coming from Hull City, didn't think that he would be making the impact that he did at Liverpool. Obviously, Scottish international, when he first came, I could see why Liverpool actually bought him in terms of someone, it's the way that Liverpool play, especially under Jurgen Klopp. They like their fullbacks to be bombing up and down the pitch. Yes, big up Reluctant Gamer for coming on. Big up, bro. So we're doing left backs, so just made it in time. So we're starting off with Andy Robertson. So for me, when he first came, I could see why he was bought by Liverpool in terms of someone that is wants to get up and down the pitch in the way that Jurgen Klopp wanted to play with his fullbacks. Obviously, the other side where you had Trent was more the ball player, but Andy Robertson offered the pace and the energy to get up and down. And I think there was a period in the Premier League, not so much now, I would say. Obviously, Trent looks like he's going to be off anyway. But as a pairing, they were probably the most potent pairing in the Premier League in terms of their assists. And obviously Trent as well with his output from that position. Robertson, for me, I would say deserves a shout to be in this list because, again, someone that's very consistent. I think he's better attacking than he is defending. But in the same sense, when he was on his game, obviously in his prime, I think he's gone past his prime now for sure. I think he is not the same. But in his prime, as I said, he was very consistent in terms of his output in attacking, and defensively, he was very robust as well. I think in terms of what he's won, obviously league title, for me, he's going to win another one under Liverpool. Obviously a Champions League winner as well. And I think, again, this is a list really where there isn't too many names, I would say, that should be included in this list. But I think for what he's done for Liverpool in terms of being a consistent threat for them in their team, I think he does deserve a mention. Obviously, for me as well, he's a bit of a shithouse as well, the way he plays, which obviously does suit the Liverpool system in terms of what you need in that defence. And I think his combination as well with Virgil van Dijk on that left-hand side of the pitch has been key to Liverpool's success down the years in terms of defensively. And yeah, for me, there's no argument that he should be in there. So yeah, again, someone that I believe will win another Premiership title this season. So I don't see any other team catching Liverpool. I think there's 9 games left to the end of the season. And I think you'd thoroughly expect Liverpool to secure another league title. And obviously Robertson, for me, I think they need to move on from. I think Liverpool do need to go and get someone else. I know they have got Costa Simicas again, who has been the understudy, you would say, to Robertson. Obviously, there's been talk about Milos Kerkez from Bournemouth, who would be the ideal replacement. And I think this might be Robertson's last season, I believe. I think if they do get a Kerkez or someone like that, I think they'll probably keep Costa Simicas unless he wants to move on. And then Robertson, they probably might move him on, I would say, because I don't see them bringing in a Kerkez and then Robertson being happy to be second option. So this might be his last season if they can move him on, but I think a lot of that will depend if they get another left back. But Robertson for sure definitely does go in there. Next on this list, again, big up Reluctant Gamer. It says Ashley Cole was my best left back, and that brings us on nicely to Ashley Cole. Again, a lot of people's favourites for the best left back to play in the Premier League era. Again, someone that came through the Arsenal system. If anyone remembers, Ashley Cole was actually a striker, believe it or not, and then obviously transitioned to being a left back. Again, someone that, you know, as his career went on, got better with each season, and I think Ashley Cole's, if anyone remembers, Ashley Cole's battles with Cristiano Ronaldo throughout the years, Man United and Arsenal. Obviously, Ronaldo played on the right wing, obviously when he was coming through, and his battles against Ashley Cole was some of the best battles, fullback and winger, that there's been. And to be honest with you, Ashley Cole was regularly holding his own, because I think Ashley Cole knew that he could match Ronaldo for pace. The trickery side of it, I remember there was one point where Ronaldo actually made Ashley Cole do the splits in one of the games. But I think his constant battles with Ronaldo, again, was some of the best that, in terms of rivalries, that the Premiership has seen. And yeah, for me, Ashley Cole, you know, regular international. If I'm right in saying, I think Ashley Cole might hold the record for the most appearances for a left back for England. Yeah, big up Edgar's Palms. I see someone from Russia or Kazakhstan writing Russian language. Yeah, I can see that, man. As I said, I'm gonna try and get the captions, the translations on after the stream when I got some time. But yeah, just going back to Ashley Cole. For me at Arsenal, you know, was a consistent performer. Obviously played in the Invincibles as well, you know, and was a big part of that. His combination with Robert Pires down that left-hand side, and the combination with Henry as well. That left-hand side was dangerous. You had Ashley Cole, who was always bombing on. You had Robert Pires, again, who can go in the pockets, in the space. And obviously Thierry Henry being a natural winger coming through, would always drift out to the left as well. So that left-hand side for them, for Arsenal, was an absolute problem, and again was a major reason as to why Arsenal won league title after league title down the years. You know, never won the Champions League with Arsenal, but I think I don't think he won it. Did he win it with Chelsea? I think he might have won it with Chelsea when they got to the final. I believe they won it with Chelsea with Drogba in it. Yeah, he won it with Chelsea, I believe, when obviously Drogba scored the winning penalty against Bayern Munich. So I think he might have won it then. But I think for me, when Ashley Cole left Arsenal, for me, I think he went to another level going to Chelsea. And for me, that's what cemented him as one of the best left backs to play in the Premier League. You know, again, a very consistent performer, someone that you know, was regarded as not only the best left back in the Premier League era, but was regarded as probably one of the best left backs in the world. Um, I think the only player I would say you could argue and say could rival him at that time, I think was probably a Marcelo coming through then? It might be Marcelo, I think. But I think for sure Ashley Cole was definitely one of the best left backs in the world. You know, I think as a defender he was very good. I actually think he was probably better defensively than attacking wise. You know, that's how good I thought he performed for Chelsea. And again, like someone that was very experienced as well from a young age. When he did move from Arsenal to Chelsea on a free, I think was it a free transfer as well. Again, Chelsea keep the fact that Arsenal kept letting their players, or someone like an Ashley Cole leave on a free transfer to a rival is mad. And in a sense, people might say it was a get back from the likes of Sol Campbell going from Tottenham to Arsenal, and then obviously Cole going from Arsenal to Chelsea. But for me, Ashley Cole would be many people's favourites to be the best left back in Premier League era. And obviously we'll find out at the end if that's my choice. Um, he for sure, again, just like a few others, is in there for sure. Guys, big up for your chats. Just gonna go through a few of them quickly. So we've got two Knox says, do you get Alexander Volkanovski or Diego Lopez? Volkanovski obviously is in UFC. Diego Lopez, I'm not quite sure who that is. What is he? Is he a UFC fighter as well? I've not really heard of him. I've heard, obviously, I know Volkanovski. Obviously, he was champ for a little while. Obviously, not anymore. So, yeah, I'm not too sure. Guys, if you can make sure your chat is strictly on sport. You know, if you're a WWE fan, as I said, make sure you put your comments in the chat. You know, obviously, if you're a football fan as well, same. If you're a boxing fan, UFC fan, as I said, like I'm here to talk about stuff like that. But if you're not going to contribute, obviously, anything positive to the chat or to the channel, then as I said, you're not forced to be here. But I big up everyone for coming on. As I say, make sure you smash that like button and make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm 5 short of 900 subscribers. So obviously, yeah, if you guys enjoy the stream, then be sure to subscribe to my channel and as I said, smash that like button. Next on this list, someone that replaced Ashley Cole, and I think, you know, he might be a bit of a surprise for some people to be in this list. But for me, yeah, big up Reluctant Gamer, man. He's on job today, man. Yeah, make sure anyone that's not contributing to the channel, then yeah, just time them out, bro. Big up. But yeah, for me, Gael Clichy, you know, for me, yeah, Thomas Starman. I'll get back to your questions in a bit. So for me, Gael Clichy, obviously someone that replaced Ashley Cole. You could arguably say he was a clone of Ashley Cole, you know, in terms of the way he played. I think he had more pace than Ashley Cole, if I'm honest. You know, I think he was quicker. Defensively, I thought Ashley Cole was better. But again, obviously French international as well. Someone that didn't really get too many French caps for an ability of a player that I thought he was. Because I rated Gael Clichy highly, and I thought that yeah, I thought that he was a very good player. And then obviously later on moved to Man City as well. So and obviously he went to Man City when Man City were trying to buy the players to propel them to the top. And for me, yeah, Gael Clichy was very good going forward in my opinion. Someone that I believe as well had the potential to be one of the best left backs in the world. I think injury played a big part of him not being able to realize that. But I think he's another one in this list because the list for me isn't too extensive, and that's not saying that Clichy wasn't good enough, but I think he was one of the better fullbacks, and especially at Arsenal as well. He was yeah, he was a real threat for them down that left hand side. Um, I think I can't remember the players he played with in terms of the left hand side. I think he might have been Jose Antonio Reyes. I can't remember if Perez was still there or not. If there's any Arsenal fans in the chat, let me know who Gael Clichy was playing on that left hand side with when he was at Arsenal. I can't actually remember. But yeah, when he went to Man City again, was part of the revolution that was taking Man City to being amongst the elite clubs in the country. Obviously, I think he does a bit more punditry now, but yeah, I thought Clichy was again an Ashley Cole clone. Do I think he reached the level of Ashley Cole in terms of Ashley Cole's career? No, I don't. But I think his potential was there for sure. But as I said, yeah, he was a very good player, Clichy. Moving on, Patrice Evra, Manchester United, obviously formerly of Monaco as well. And I remember watching Evra playing for Monaco. I believe it was it the Champions League semi-final or the final? Was it against Porto when Porto won? I think it might have been the Champions League final when Jose Mourinho was manager of Porto. I think Porto beat Monaco in the final when Monaco had Fernando Morientes, formerly of Real Madrid, and I think Evra was playing in that team as well, was obviously as a youngster. And when I watched that game, I said, someone needs to snap him up, Evra, because I thought he had something. He was still very raw, but I thought he had something to his game. And I believe the following season, that's when Man United actually signed him. They signed him and Vidic at the same time. And if anyone remembers, Vidic and Evra's debuts for Man United was against Man City. And both players were shocking on their debuts. And I think one, if not both of them, came off the pitch. And for me, when I watched that game, I thought they're going to have a tough time, sustaining a career at United if you're getting brought off at half-time like that. And again, they seem out of their depth. And, testament to Sir Alex Ferguson in terms of, persevering with both of them. And obviously both of them players, Vidic and Evra, went on to be Man United greats, and rightfully so. Obviously, both of them went on as well to be captains of the club, which says a lot about their mentality and personality. And for me, Evra for me was definitely one of the best left backs in the Premier League era. I would have only Ashley Cole really as someone that was competing with him at their very best to be the best left back in the Premier League history. Again, Patrice Evra, very good going forward. His combination with Ronaldo down that left-hand side for Man United throughout the years, was devastating really, and was a big part in United winning Champions Leagues and league titles. Again, Evra was a captain as well, and thoroughly deserved his the fact that he was awarded captain, because I didn't see that coming. You don't really see too many left backs becoming captains of the team, but obviously Evra's mentality and his standing at the club, I think that yeah, it was a lot really, because I didn't really see that behind the scenes, and Ferguson obviously sees something in him to be awarding him the captaincy really. And for me, defensively, I think, again, if I'm talking about the best defenders in this list, I think Ashley Cole was probably slightly better defensively than Evra. But Evra, for me, going forwards, again, was an absolute problem. He had energy, his energy was mad, really, to be fair. He was up and down that pitch consistently. And again, someone that, just like Ashley Cole, is definitely up there for being the best left backs that the Premier League has seen, and thoroughly deserves his place in this list. Just gonna go through some of the comments. Big up, guys, for your comments as well. So we've got SJL says, who is your favorite British boxer at the moment? My favorite British boxer at the moment. That's tough, really, because I don't know really. My favourite British boxer at the moment. I don't really have one really. You know, I don't really follow British boxing too tough, if I'm honest. Um, yeah, I can't really say. You know, but what I would say, obviously, this Connor Ben and Eubank fight, I am looking forward to. Obviously, Connor Ben's actually from my neck of the woods, obviously near from where I live. You know, but I still think that Eubank Junior is going to win the fight. But yeah, no, I haven't really got a favorite British boxer. If I was to say British boxer of all time, then again you're looking at the likes of what's his name? The likes of, I mean, Prince Nassim Hamid was a great boxer. You know, obviously I like Kell Brook as well. You know, if we're talking about heavyweights, again you got the likes of what's his name? Lennox Lewis. Obviously Eubank, Ben. You know what I mean? But at the moment, I can't really say. People obviously point to Anthony Joshua. You know, obviously he has carried the flag for England in terms of boxing. But I haven't really got a favourite one, I would say. But yeah, big up for your question. Big up, you know, Leon Edwards. I don't know Leon Edwards personally, but in terms of Leon Edwards as a fighter, I rate him highly. You know, I think he's a very good fighter. His wars with Kamaru Usman, you know, I think was the, well, basically I think brought the best of him, you know. But yeah, I think he's a great fighter, Leon Edwards. I know he's got a, I think hasn't he got a fight coming up soon? I haven't really been keeping tabs with the UFC lately. But yeah, I do rate Leon Edwards highly, but I don't know him personally. Ilya Topuria and is that Islam Makhachev. Again, guys, I'm not really too familiar with the UFC fighters now. I don't really watch it as much, but I do know some of the names. I think is Topuria the champ at the moment? But I'll have to go with some people in the chat. They say Islam Makhachev wins. I think is Islam Makhachev, is he a submission specialist? Yeah, let me know in the chat. Leon Edwards unfortunately lost his last fight. Yeah, I think I heard about that actually. I can't remember who that was too. Leon Edwards hasn't got that dog in him. No, I think he has. I think he has, man. I think Leon Edwards is a great fighter, and I think he proved that when he fought Kamaru Usman, who Kamaru Usman was dominating that division. So yeah, I think he has. So Thomas Starr says, "Man, I love Edwards even as a Finn. One day I'm going to." So I'm guessing you're from Finland, Helsinki, yeah. Big up Thomas Starr. One day I'm going to train with him. His style and in striking is great. Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, his striking is elite, man. That's one thing I liked. I liked when I watched him through the Usman fight. You know, the finisher that he done, you know, was Leon Edwards. You know what I mean? Since you seem more informed about soccer, how do I get into sport? I only watch MMA. How do you get into sport? Football. Very easy, really. I mean, in terms of what I would say to you, and again, I'm not gonna bore anyone with the talk that I've done probably before, but what I would say is that football, from what I remember, isn't the same. You know, for me, I more watch it now for individual players because I like, if there's certain players that I like the style of their play, then I watch it more for that. I think in terms of like myself, I'm a Man United supporter, but I like Barcelona. This Barcelona now is nothing compared to the Barcelona that I used to watch, the likes of Messi, you know, Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi, Dani Alves, you know, Ronaldinho, the Etus, the Henrys, you know, players like that, Neymar's, Luis Suarez, you know, them players now are no longer at Barcelona. But who's keeping football alive for Barcelona? For me, is Lamine Yamal and Pedri, two of the best players in the world for me. So it's up to you. It's up to you really if you want to follow players or if you like a team. Because I think the way football is now, football's not that much enjoyable. As many people know, it's more of a business, you know, not a sport anymore, I would say. And I think the reason that I'm still a Man United supporter is because I've been a supporter of them for years. You know, so I'm invested in Man United. But the love of me and Man United is not really there no more. I just follow them because all I know really in terms of from young. But I'm more like watching certain players, And what I would say to you, if you are new to not watching football, I think it's best to watch certain players and see what kind of style of play that you like. Or if there's a team that you kind of can kind of get behind, then by all means. But I'm more players. I like Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen, the way he plays. If I look at Man United now, Amad Diallo, Josh Zirkzee, for me, for definite style of players I like watching. Other teams, if I look at players around the league, there isn't too many players that I would say I enjoy watching play. Liverpool, there's no one really, that stands out. Man City, there was players like Bernardo Silva, but he's not the same Bernardo Silva that I remember. Jack Grealish, I think Jack Grealish is a top player, but doesn't play enough for City. Rodri again's a top player. Ilkay Gundogan. Obviously Gundogan isn't the same, So there is players amongst the league. It can be there's other players as well, but yeah, I would say yeah, try and find a team or find a player that you enjoy watching. That's what I would say. But yeah, big up for your question, Two Nucks. So yeah, WWE, man, I do love WWE. I watch it to this day. So whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA, um, ECW back in the day, WWF back in the day, you know what I mean? Anything wrestling, let me know, man, because I'm here for that. Patrice Evra was amazing. He loves Dragon Ball Z like me. Yeah, Patrice Evra is a funny guy, man. When I see him eating that raw chicken, that's when I had to just let go of my stocks for Patrice Evra, man. I didn't really agree with that, but I suppose he is a character, isn't he? You know what I mean? Uh, so okay, so Makachev is a Khabib student. Okay, so yeah, I mean Khabib Nurmagomedov. If Makachev's a student of Khabib, I'm sorry, man, you can't bet against that then because Khabib was an animal, man, and yeah, I think in terms of the greatest ever UFC fighters, pound for pound, yeah, he definitely has to be in the top five for sure, man. So yeah, big up Robertson Gamer. Uh, so Ms. Ria you says you look like Ruben Loftus Cheek. Um, do I? Or if you say so. I can't see it personally, but um, yeah, I'm my own person, man. But if you think that, then fair enough. But yeah, big up for your comments, guys. As I said, I'm only 5 away from 900 subscribers. So as I said, if you enjoy the stream, check out my other content. And as I said, I've been doing since the international break. I've been going through, the best in the Premier League era in their positions. So yeah, if you do enjoy this stream, then check out my other content. As I said, smash that like button, guys. Obviously helps to reach more people. And as I said, if you ain't subscribed to my channel already, then as I say, subscribe. Big up Esther Opong. Um, so Misria has gone from Ruben Loftus Cheek to Thomas Partey. Okay, let's just say that they're both guys that look totally different. But you know what? Your next question, I'm rating, and I'm guessing you're Turkish by this question. So Mizria you has said Kenan Yildiz or Arda Güler. For me, not even a debate. Arda Güler for me. I believe. Well, for me, not only do I think Arda Güler should be playing for Real Madrid right now, but I believe if Arda Güler, I mean, there's been reports that he wants to move on, him and Endrick, in terms of being on loan, and there's been talk about Bayer Leverkusen. If he went to Bayer Leverkusen, I tell you now that will be. I mean, for me, it all depends if Florian Wirtz stays. I think if he's going to replace Florian Wirtz, then you know what I mean. It's not going to be as exciting for me to watch. I would say, because I think having Florian Wirtz and Arda Güler in the same team, because the way that Bayer Leverkusen play, they play three at the back. So if you've got two number 10s in Goulet from the right, cutting in on his left foot, and Florian Wirtz from the left cutting in on his right foot, I think that'll be dangerous. And I think if they can get him on loan, because I think Bayern Munich will win the league this season, I think that will go a long way for them securing that title for the following season. But Kenan Yildiz again has been linked with Man United, Liverpool, and Chelsea. I do think Yildiz is a good player, but for me, Arda Güler, for me all day long. I think Güler for me has got the potential to be one of the best in the world, and whether that's at Real Madrid or elsewhere, I think he will go on to be that. But big up for your question. Tunuk says, I definitely like the idea of following players, especially seems easier than an entire team. Sad to hear football has lost its spark. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, big up, bro, man. Yeah, as I said, man, football isn't what it used to be. Obviously the money in football now, has gone through the roof. And what I would say, man, yeah, it's yeah, again, it's your choice, man. But I would definitely say invest in a style of player that you like rather than investing in a team, because I think teams will consistently let you down. I think the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, I would say for sure, they're the two teams that want to be at the top at all times, regardless of what happens. So they are teams to invest in. If I look at the Premier League, Man City again throughout the years are another team that want to be the best. But I think all the other teams, I think it's mediocrity, I would say, So the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, and possibly Man City, these are the teams that want to stay at the top. Bayern Munich I'll probably put in there as well. All the other teams, I think it's safe to say that they're teams that are suffering from mediocrity. But yeah, big up, man. So yeah, raw chicken is wild, man. Yeah, it's mad. When I see Evra doing that, yeah, as I said, I had to cancel my stocks in Evra, man, because to do that on on live TV as well, mad. But big up Mohammed Ayan. Sorry, bro, I didn't see your reply, man. If you want to put that in the chat again. Big up Thomas Starr. So someone asked me this the other day, and I've already answered this, but I will go through it again. So Thomas Starr has said Tom Aspinall versus John Jones. Who you got? Now, again, John Jones is not for me, in the peak that he was at from years gone by. And again, Tom Aspinall is obviously the big name at the moment in terms of heavyweight division. For me, John Jones, for me, is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. And I will never bet against John Jones personally, I think John Jones... I think John Jones, for me, has every arsenal that he needs to his as a fighter. The guy's submission is a submission expert. His striking is unrivaled. Let's go. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so his striking is unrivaled. He's got elbows, like anything you want. John Jones has got it. And again, I don't see anyone beating him. Again, Aspinall, people think he will beat him, but for me, I'm never going to bet against John Jones for sure. So I'm going to say John Jones, man. Even if he has not been as active as someone like a Tom Aspinall, he has to definitely be in there for me. Leao or Mbappe in dribbling. For me, two players that are very overrated, in my opinion. And the fact that we're talking about dribbling and we're not talking about Yamal, or players of that quality. And we're talking about Leao and Mbappe, two players who are more speed merchants than pure dribblers. We've got lots of Neymar, that are just pure dribblers, Messi, and we're talking about Leao and Mbappe. Probably in terms of dribbling, again, I'll probably say Leao probably. It's probably a better dribbler than Mbappe. I think Mbappe's one is more of the pace, and Leao is probably a bit more intricate in terms of having the ball closer to his feet. But again, we're talking about two players that are not dribbling experts, so it's kind of difficult to kind of be interested in this convo in that sense. But yeah, big up. What is your predictions for AC Milan? For me, AC Milan, in terms of what winning league titles, I I think they might be I think they're a way off it, if I'm honest. You know, I think two of their players that they've got, or maybe three of them, should I say, in goalkeeper Mike Maignan, left back Teo Hernandez, and Rafael Leao. I think if any of them three was to leave, it's gonna set them back. So what I would say is, in terms of league titles, they're way off, and it means that they've got to keep hold of their important players, who for me in the summer are going to be sought after, because obviously a lot of teams need a new keeper, and Mike Maignan for me is one of the best left backs as well. Teo Hernandez is one of the best left backs in world football for me as well. I know he had that mad moment in the Champions League, but I still think he's up there. Obviously, France's left back as well. He'll be sought after. And the same with Rafael Leao. Even though Leao is a bit of hit and miss for me, but he's someone in terms of an attacker will be sought after. So yeah, these players will be sought after. So if they lose them players, I think it will be a bit of a rebuilding job for AC Milan. So but yeah, big up. So Makadev Bat says Thomas Aspinall is going to destroy Jones. I don't think he will. You know, it's going to be a great fight, but to say he's going to destroy Jones, I don't agree with that. But big up for your comment. Yeah, guys, big up, man. So just get back onto the list, just so we don't get sidetracked. But big up your comments, guys. And as I said, if you enjoyed the stream, man, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. So next on this list, Denis Irwin. You know, if anyone remembers Denis Irwin, played actually left back for Man United, but was right-footed. You know, and going back onto Denis Irwin, I remember a few years ago, I was having a back and forth with someone on Twitter. So there was a player coming through the youth called Brandon Williams, and the guy actually had the cheek to tell me that Brandon Williams is the next Denis Irwin. And again, look how that's worked out for Brandon Williams and for that person. He was adamant that Brandon Williams coming through was going to be like Denis Irwin. And again, Brandon Williams, if anyone remembers him coming through Man United, was only there because being from the youth, you know, passion merchant. But in terms of his ability, was nowhere near it. And as you can see now, I think he is without a club. And but by the way, I still haven't got my my apologies from that person. So, you know, but if anyone remembers Denis Irwin, one of the most two-footed fullbacks in the game at the time, and again, he can be regarded as not only the best left back in Premier League era, but one of the best fullbacks of all time. He was that good, that consistent, and was part of the Man United team that was winning title after title. You know, and again, Denis Irwin was very underrated. You know, was part of the 99 squad, I think, as well, that won the Champions League, I believe. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure he might have been part of that. But Denis Irwin, man, like model professional as well. You know, someone that you didn't hear too much about him in the news, you know, but consistent performer, Irish international as well. And again, someone that is very underrated because, again, I'm from the era of watching Denis Irwin play, you know, 99. Obviously played with Peter Schmeichel, you know, as well, Eric Cantona. And if anyone watched Denis Irwin, and again, this is for a lot of the older viewers, they will know how good Denis Irwin was. You know, ask Roy Keane, for instance, you know, obviously Ireland teammate as well. But Denis Irwin, yeah, was one of the best fullbacks the Premier League has seen. And again, someone that wasn't left-footed, but he goes in there because I can't leave him out, because it just wouldn't look right for me. And yeah, for sure, he has to be in there. And there's no doubt. And again, this list is very difficult. And for sure, I'm letting you guys know now, Denis Irwin is up there. You know, so he'll be in my top three for sure as the best left backs, even though he wasn't left-footed, but he was consistent. Big up editors anime. Yeah, big up for coming on. Yeah, big up Mazeria U. So I will get back to your questions after. I just got 2 more names to get through, but yeah, I will definitely get back. Next on this list, again, someone for me that deserves a mention, but isn't one of the best for me. But Leighton Baines, formerly of Everton. I believe he's part of the Everton backroom staff now as well. In terms of longevity, Leighton Baines was definitely one of the best left backs of the era of the Premier League era. Again, Leighton Baines would have had more caps for England if it wasn't for Ashley Cole. He was never going to be a regular at left back as long as Ashley Cole was there. But in terms of his consistency, and his service for Everton, a bit like Seamus Coleman, really, just on the other side of the pitch. Him and Seamus Coleman have given ridiculous service to Everton, and again, just like Seamus Coleman, they're probably in there by default for the service they've given to their clubs. And again, Leighton Baines, free kick specialist as well, had a very good left foot, and as I said, yeah, had a very good career for Everton. But for me, doesn't go down as one of the best left backs, but he definitely deserves this list for sure. And then the last one I've put in is again someone who was playing left back, but is actually a right back, very much like Denis Irwin, and I'm gonna go with João Cancelo. I think in terms of ability on this list, he's by far the most talented for me. Again, someone that was a right back, but played left back as well for Man City. Obviously started his career obviously in Spain at Valencia, and then was bought by Man City, and then went to Barcelona on loan, and then also to Bayern Munich, and now he's playing in Saudi. For me, the biggest mystery with Cancelo is how someone that talented hasn't really made the most of his career in terms of, again, there was a falling out with Pep at Man City, and then you're thinking him going to Barcelona because he's a Barcelona quality. As I mentioned yesterday with Dani Alves, Dani Alves was a pure technician at Barcelona, and me thinking like Cancelo going to Barcelona, he could be the exact replacement for Dani Alves. And I don't know what's happened with Cancelo now, but he's kind of lost his way, and now he's gone to Saudi, obviously for the money. But again, someone that for me is so talented, how he's not made the most of his career is alarming, really. But again, he's in this list because he's, and not for the longevity side of it, but because of his pure quality. Because for me, when Man City were at their very best, he was at fullback, whether it be left or right back. And again, he played left back because Carl Walker was there at right back, and he made left back just look simple, and his quality in terms of him, being inverted as well at left back, coming in field and playing. Yeah, he was a top player, man. And again, he's someone that I had to include in this list just because of his overall quality. But yeah, guys, so that's my list. Andy Robertson, Ashley Cole, Gael Clichy, Patrice Evra, Denis Irwin, Leighton Baines, and João Cancelo. If there's anyone else that I've not mentioned, yeah, be sure to put that in the chat. Because as I said, it's not an extensive list, but these are the players that I believe should be in there. And for me, the best left back of the Premier League era, the ones I'm going to rule out are Leighton Baines, Gael Clichy, and Andy Robertson, I would say. Again, three players, again, deserve to be in this list. But because of my preference, I'm not going to include them, but three guys that deserve to have a mention for sure. So it's down to Ashley Cole, Patrice Evra, Denis Irwin, and João Cancelo. For me, João Cancelo and Denis Irwin, I like seeing my left backs left-footed, my right backs right-footed. But on the wings, I prefer seeing inverted in terms of left footers on the right footers on the left. So again, this is not in any order, but for me, the best left back, and again, Cancelo, Irwin, Ashley Cole, and Evra all have the right for me to be the best left back. But yeah, I think it's not a surprise, really. I think you have to go with Ashley Cole in terms of, consistency, what he's won, attacking and defending. I think you have to go with Ashley Cole. You know, but again, if anyone wants to go with Denis Irwin, you know, Patrice Evra, I think Cancelo might be out of all four of them the outside shout. But in terms of ability, I think he's the best out of all them. But yeah, I think it can be either Irwin, Evra, or Ashley Cole. But I'm gonna say Ashley Cole. So yeah, there you have it, guys. Ashley Cole for me, the best left back of the Premier League era. Again, if you guys have any other suggestions, be sure to throw that in the chat or in the comment section after the stream has ended. Just gonna go through some of your comments before we wrap. Big up again, guys, for your questions. So Mazeria U, another great question, has said Reinders or Tijani Reinders or Federico Valverde. You know what? It's difficult because Valverde again, in terms of I think Valverde is underrated. To be fair, obviously he playing more right back at the moment due to Danny Carvajal's injury. Reinders, I do like Reinders. I do think Reinders is very good. You know, box to box as well, good in possession. I'm gonna probably say Reinders. Valverde. I'll say Valverde, but again, for me, I want Reinders. I know Reinders are obviously at AC Milan, but I want Reinders to go to, because I think he can play for a bigger club. Not say bigger club, because AC Milan are a bigger club, but in terms of their standing at the moment, I think he can go on to play for like a, you know, one of the powerhouses that are doing well at the moment. But I'm gonna say Valverde. But again, Reinders is a very good player. Just going through some of the chats. Future of Jordan Vucenic. I'm not sure who that is. Who's Jordan Vucenic? If you're still in there, Makadev Bakat, let me know who you're talking about. I'm not sure who Jordan Vucenic is. Dimitri Gianni says, what do you think about John Jones and who do you think he will fight in the future? For me, I believe this might be John Jones's last fight, if I'm honest. I think if he wins, again, I don't see why he carries on. I don't see why he carries on. Because I think he would have accomplished everything that he needed to. If he loses, again, it might be a case of yeah, it might be a case of people might think he's finished, and you know, or he might have something to prove. But for me, I think this might be his last fight. You know, I think the only difference it might happen is that if he was to beat Aspinall, then you know, if the money's right, it could be a but I think for sure, I don't think he fights in the future. I think this might be his last fight. You know, and what a career he's had, man. He's a top fighter. For me, the best. So, yeah, I think there wouldn't be any argument for that. Mazeria, you. Big up your questions, man. Just like Reluctant Gamer, man. You guys are coming up with some sick questions. Keep them coming in before I end the stream. So, Nestor or Ramos? You know what? Again, as I mentioned before, I hate answering these questions because these are difficult. These are very difficult because it doesn't sit right with me just picking one or the other. I'm gonna say Sergio Ramos. You know, and again, Nestor was so good, elegant, the defender. But I'm gonna say Sergio Ramos. For me, Sergio Ramos probably will go down as definitely in the top three greatest centre backs of all time, in terms of what he's won, in terms of his quality as well, and yeah, I think he definitely has to be Ramos. You know, but Nestor was again generational. But I'm gonna say Ramos. Grealish says, "I love your father." Yeah, big up. Maziri U says, do you think all the older players better than young players? I mean, like old generation is better. Oh, you know what? Great question. For sure. The players back then, you know, and I've only got to give you a few names, the likes of players that was not that in their era was not regarded as the best, but if they were in this era, they'll be regarded as the best. So players like Del Piero and Totti, you know, if anyone knows Del Piero and Totti from Juventus and Roma, they're just two of the names. You know, if they were in this generation now playing, well, for a start, they'll be criticised because they're not runners. But in terms of quality, untouched. You know what I mean? If you look at players like Arjen Robben, for instance, Robben was that good, but Robben was never considered to be one of the top 3 players in the world because the list was, I mean, the level was high. But if Robben was in this era now, for sure he'd be Ballon d'Or contender easily. You know what I mean? And as I said, yeah, the level back then was a lot higher than it is than what it is now. And again, these players now have a lot more opportunity in terms of nutrition, all these other things to maximize their game, you know. But yeah, no, great question, man, because as I said, a lot of the players now couldn't light a candle to players from the past. But yeah, no, big up for your question. Yeah, guys, big up for coming on. Missouri, you, big up for your question. As I said, make sure you subscribe to my channel and you smash that like button. And again, make sure you do come back as well. Big up to my mod, Reluctant Gamer, as always, coming on. Obviously doing his job as well. But yeah, big up. Guys, as I said, I'm only 5 short of 900 subscribers. I want to try and hit that milestone today if possible. And as I said, if you do enjoy the stream, check out my other content, you know. And again, smash that like button, guys. Helps with the algorithms to reach more people. But yeah, just the last question before I wrap up. So why the new generation has but this is the problem, and I'm glad that you're actually saying this. This system, this era of football now, people don't consume football the way it was back then because all they do is look at numbers. Yeah, big up, man. All they care about is numbers, and numbers has ruined football. You know, if I was to tell you that the Zidane and Andres Iniesta, 2 of the best players of their generation, for me, 2 of the best players to ever play the game. If I was to tell you that these players were averaging 5 or 6 goals a season, you would say no way. But they were averaging 5 or 6 goals a season. And if you look at the likes of, for argument's sake, a Jude Bellingham, a Bruno Fernandes, players that are hailed as best players in this era of football, which again just shows you how much the level has dropped. These guys are getting way more numbers, you know. And what people do as well now, when them talk about goals, they try to put assists in there as well. And I think when they conflate the two, it's just trying to add on to GA, that people call it. But these players of the past, no one really cared about GA. We just knew how good these players were. And the fact that we have to listen to now someone saying, you know, and again, I look at the likes of a Fabrizio Romano, you know, he's someone that has tapped in, especially on Twitter. He's tapped into a lot of what this era is all about, you know, because you always see in Fabrizio Romano will put, you know, 21 GA for a player, and, you know, obviously he's got a massive following and people just get influenced by these things. So yeah, but again, I mention it again, Iniesta and Zidane, these guys averaged 5 or 6 goals a season, you know, but no one would actually think that. But that's how much things have changed now. And again, these guys will probably be getting criticized in this era for their numbers. But again, if anyone watched these players regularly, like I did, you will know these are 2 of the best players to ever play the game, you know, and 2 of the best midfielders, again, of their generation. So, yeah, but that's what I would say. But yeah, guys, big up everyone for coming on. As I said, I appreciate people coming through, you know, interacting in the chat as well. Obviously, I'm trying to build a good community here, you know. Obviously, big up to Reluctant Gamer, as always, as I said. Obviously, always in there giving me some support. And guys, yeah, as I said, I appreciate you guys coming on, giving your chat. Again, we're not here to agree on every point, but we're here to have dialogue, you know, as long as it's respectful. As I said, I think I'm 1 more subscriber, as Gamer said, from 900. So as I said, if you haven't subscribed already and you're still watching and you like the content, As I said, make sure you subscribe to my channel and check out my other content. And yeah, man, guys, big up for coming on. Mezeria, you keeps bringing in the chats before I go. So it says Shevchenko and Lewandowski. For me, I like Lewandowski. But Shevchenko again, great player, AC Milan legend. I think he might still be Ukraine's manager as well. But yeah, Lewandowski for me. But again, two great players. But yeah, guys, big up for coming on. Smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'm gonna catch you guys tomorrow. The next segment tomorrow is gonna be on goalkeepers. Might be a bit boring, but we're going through the whole pitch, and obviously the last one's gonna be strikers, which is gonna be on Saturday. So yeah, but yeah, guys, big up for coming on. Appreciate your comments, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Guys, I'll be live tomorrow actually at 12 o'clock again. So yeah, make sure you come through again, give some support, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take it easy.